Play me some sauti soul. Nimeshikwa na mahanja.
All the way in Switzerland, and you're tuning into the Black House Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Cathy. Massive. Stay tuned.
Turn off the lights, pretty baby. Put on some making love song. Turn on the noise, pretty darling. Play me some sauti soul. Nimeshikwa na mahanja, mahanja, zanipanda mahanja. Let me whisper in your ear, baby, get me right and clear. Until you say, I'm gonna make you say,
Yes, karibuni sana to the Wellness Wednesday. Oh, thank you. You have already started gifting me. Thank you very much.
it's me and you. Baby, let's get in the mood. Hey, you with a pretty little smile.
Shout out to Robert Williams.
Just shining in your eyes.
July, I see you.
Sweeter, let's make love tonight. I wanna kiss you tender and deeper. Let's make la 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 la. I wanna hold you tighter and sweeter. Let's make love tonight. I wanna kiss you tender and deeper. Let's make love.
Yes, welcome. Karibuni sana to the Wellness Wednesday with Katie. I hope you are doing great and I hope you're feeling well on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon on my end. I hope you are well. Shout out to Dimore in the building. Unasema heri sisi tunashikwa. Wewe shikwa hata na homa. Wacha hizo. But I see Robert Williams in the building is saying, yeah, Katie is on time. Of course, I'm always keeping time. Joby is the one messing with my time. Joby and Kid, actually Kid is the one encouraging Joby to keep on messing with my time. But karibuni sana, and I hope you're doing great on this wonderful afternoon. On my end, you can let me know what is the time on your end in case you're tuned in away from the 254. Shout out to all those who are with me on the building. I see somebody gifted me and they don't have a name. Thank you very much to all those who are tapping the screen for me. Thank you very much, Mr. Blackout Fire Network. I see you in the building. Karibu sana. Azoza Radio. That is a Dimore. I see you in the building. And yes, it is exactly 2:32 p.m. right here in Nairobi. We are at 22 degrees Celsius. It is mostly cloudy, a little bit sunny, and I hope your day is going well today. So as we get started, or as I get to introduce the topic of the day, remember this show is always about being mentally being well everywhere. So on today's episode, we shall get to review some African history that we were never taught, something that we were never told that happened in Africa. And our topic of, yes, Kid, you're telling me, damn me. Yes, you're always the one encouraging Joby to mess up with my time. You're telling her 15 minutes won't hurt. I hear you all the time. Yes, but karibu sana. So I'm saying yes on today's episode. I think people are well when they know their real history, and this is why I'm here with the real history, with some history, or rather some parts of history, or history that we were never taught in school, history that nobody told us, history that we never knew. I know you all know King Leopold. Yes, Leopold. I know you all know King Leopold, the second and the first King Leopold. But yes, what did King Leopold do in Africa? Remember, King Leopold came as an explorer, came as a business person, but when he got to Africa, a lot of things started happening in Africa. A lot of Africans started, or rather, war genocide, or we lost about 10 million people in Congo, not only in Africa. This is only in Congo. Now imagine how many people we lost in King Leopold's leadership, or under King Leopold rulership. It is very crazy, but we shall get to see this. And the main topic of the day is King Leopold's ghost. I don't know how many of you know this book. It is a book, and it is actually talking about how King Leopold killed people, how King Leopold assassinated people, how King Leopold took over Congo, and we shall get to see this. And remember, to all those who are with us on the last time, was it on Thursday, where I read you some pages of how Patrice Lumumba was assassinated? Remember, King Leopold was working hand in hand with the CIA. To assassinate Patrice Lumumba. So he is also responsible for the death of Patrice Lumumba. That is just one person we know. But Kid is telling me at least 20 million, Katie. Okay, if you go and Google right now, they tell you about 15 million, 10 million. So the number is not even correct, but we know he's responsible of many deaths. But I told you, I believe people are well when they know their history. People are well when they know their real enemy. And this is why we're doing Wellness Wednesday, talking about King Leopold's ghost. Alsha, if you have somewhere you can get this book, please make sure you find it, because we shall get to see a few pages of it and review some pages of it and see what are they talking about in the King Leopold ghost. And also remember, King Leopold ghost is a history of heroism of now Africans conquering his rulership. But also remember, this book is not written by an African person, so you will find a lot of propaganda in this book. This is a book I have tried to read. I've gone through so many pages, but I find a lot of propaganda in it. And the reason is this book was not written by an African person. Actually, the narrator of this story is a white person who had come to visit Congo, but he is seeing the animosity in King Leopold. So I hope we all get to relate to this book. I hope we get to know what we are talking about today. And also, I hope we all get now the theme, or rather, the main thing I want us to get. I also have a few videos right here with me. I actually have 3 videos with me. I don't know if I'll be able to share most of them, or rather some parts of them, because we really want to see this and we really want to hear this about the most brutal act of King Leopold in Congo. Yes, this is not actually forgotten history. We can say it is a history, untold history. Maybe it was told to some people who really knew, or rather who really existed during that time, but some of us, or people like us, don't know what happened, why King Leopold was this brutal. But remember, he was a white person, he was a colonizer, and this is what happened. And also, I'm always like this: African people, you know, these people, how they have been brutal to us, and you still want to love them. What happened? Did you forgive them? Did you forgive them now with the pain they took us through, with the pain they took our ancestors through? You forgot that and you forget them? I bet you don't know about that, because I don't know if you forgave them, but I bet you don't know about these people's brutality. I don't know if you know these people kept our ancestors in zoos because they considered our ancestors animals. They kept them in zoos. Imagine, you're being kept in a zoo where white people come to see you like an animal. Imagine, you don't know these people used to rape our women and force them to work for them. You don't know that these people made sure that now they had children with African women just to continue with their generations. And I just don't understand what happened to our African people that right now we want to love these people. What happened, guys? Did you forget that? Did you forget what they did to our African people? Did you forget what they made our ancestors go through? I bet you don't know what these people went through. I bet you don't know. I don't want to say that you forgot, you forgave. I bet you just don't know. You just don't know. You don't have the information. You don't know how much pain they caused our ancestors. These people, some of them were assassinated, like Patrice Lumumba. You remember the story? If you are here with me, if you have been following the African Diary Show, you'll be knowing the story of Patrice Lumumba, because I read an article. And in case you don't know, I have a book you can refer to. It is called The Greatest Hits of the Illuminati's Greatest Hits. It is somewhere you will see. It has a title. You'll get to see that. But today, we are referring to the book called The King Leopold's Ghost. Yes. And I told you, this is just a disclaimer. This book is not written by an African person. You will find a lot of truth in it and a lot of propaganda. So know what to pick, know what is not true, know what is true. Because at the end of the day, if you read books, you'll get to relate. This was not true. This is not true. This is right. This is actually right. This is a lie. This is the truth. So you will get to see that. But anyway, Karibuni Sada, I see Kid, you're saying they don't know Katie. Yes, I want to believe that, because I'd hate them if they forgive these African people. But I see Mvuvuka, you're saying you are doing a great job, my love. Thank you very much. Asante Sana. Mzales, I see you in the building. Shout out to you. Asante Sana for joining me on today's episode. We shall go back to one more jam. I'll be back with our quote of the day. And remember, today's topic is about King Leopold's brutality in Africa, or King Leopold's ghost in Africa. How many people did he assassinate? What amount of trouble did he cause our fighters, our ancestors? We are about to see this. I have videos to share with you, and in case you're there, please make sure you're tapping the screen for me as we continue with our show for today, to encourage so many people to join us, so that we can get to share this knowledge with everybody who is here, who is willing to learn. Because at the end of the day, if we don't share it, it is not helpful. Because I'm just angry by the fact that I know people don't know this, but I'm angry because I want to believe some of you have forgiven these Europeans and forgotten what they did to us. But now I have, or I'm giving you a benefit of doubt. You don't know. Some of us don't know this history. Some of us were never told that this is what happened. So this is why I'm here to tell you this is what happened. This is what happened to our ancestors. This is what they went through under the rule of King Leopold. Let's get to one more jump. I'll be back with our quote of the day. In case you have a quote of the day you'd love to share with us, please make sure you keep it coming. This is Sauti Sol Isabella.
Greetings and salutations, Max. Here's Angela Robinson, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black House Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Cathy. That's it. Thank you.
Hey Isabella, how you gonna come out and dance with me tonight? The stars look beautiful outside, so beautiful. Tell your mama I said sorry, I didn't bring you home early last time, and I was a little tipsy. I know she doesn't miss me, so put on those shoes that I like.
Shout out to John Doe in the building.
Go and dance the night away. Away, yeah. Because YOLO, you only live once.
My quote of the day says, the key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. The key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles.
And me, I wanna have some fun. Punjabi fupa gama meno iko. Up and away we go, and spend all my money on you, baby. Cause I can't take it with me when I'm dead. So tonight, we are young, high, and in love.
Yes, welcome back. I don't want to continue with that jam. I don't want to waste much of the time, of the little time we have right here. So shout out to John Doe. I see you saying I was with Katie in in a primary school. I was not with you, John Doe. I didn't get 100%, but at least I tried. Social studies is one of the subjects that we all needed, but it failed us a lot because the history we are getting is the history that is written for us. It is not the real history for us. So at the end of the day, I didn't get 100% because social studies during our days was fictional. It's not the real history. It's not the real social studies we should be taught, and it is not our history at the end of the day. So I'm not even proud. I'm not even ashamed to say I didn't score much, but at least right now I know much, and I know the truth. But anyway, to all those who are with us, please make sure you're tapping the screen as we continue. So I told you on today's episode, we are focusing on brutality of King Leopold's rule in Africa. And I told you this book we are referring to. It is called King Leopold's Ghost. Yes, this book was written by a white person called the Charles Child or something, but I don't remember the name. But anyway, the name is not important. The name of the author is not important. The book or what is in the book is what is important. But anyway, you can find it on Kindle in case you are a leader. Yes, you can find it there. And it is a very good book. I see a little niche in the building. Shout out to you, little niche. I see you in the building. Shout out to you and karibuni sana. So as we get started, I want us to go to page or location 120 of 983. That is 12% of the book. And okay, I just want us to see something that we talked about. Okay, the author of the book is actually called Hochschild. You can tell this person looks like he's from a family of the Rothschilds. Yes, John Doe is saying a free PDF eco. Sina pesa ya Kindle. I don't know how I can share this. Sijui, yani sina free PDF. Sijui venye naeza share. I use Kindle. I don't know how to nini. But anyway, on that page, actually, let's start from location 111 of 983. This is the second paragraph. Just as a Hochschild recalls his exact location in the airliner where his first land of Congolese deads on a genocidal scale. I remember the library carrel where I sat with heart in my throat, reading a Congolese revelations that would change my life. I was nearly 30 by then. The book was Jonathan Whitney's Endless Enemies, The Making of an Unfriendly World. That is 1984. An astute examination of the U.S. economy, policy, and its long habits of manipulating governments. You already see what he is talking about. I think now there's a book also you need to find. It is called The Making, or rather Jonathan Whitney's Endless Enemies, The Making of an Unfriendly World. We need to find that book as well. It contains a lot of real history that we need to know. But as we continue, Whitney wrote extensively about the Congo, how it is hard-won independence lasted only about 50 days before it was lost again. Diamonds, Colbert, self-determination, and all to foreign businesses' interests. The U.S. was the star player in this piracy. The first elected Congolese Prime Minister, Patrice Lumumba, declared that Congo's wealth belonged to her people and would be used to improve their lives. The U.S. response was to hatch an assassination plan, finance a coup, and replace Lumumba with a puppet dictator who could be bribed to open the vaults of multinational corporations. To that point, are we together? Huh? The U.S. plan was to fund a coup. That is in Congo. Remember, that was during the rule of Patrice Lumumba when he was the prime minister. Okay? So, are we together at that point? Please make sure we are together. I don't want to lose a person there. So, I was horrified by these revelations. I scoured the library and found transcripts of congregational hearing that had belatedly investigated the CIA's role in destabilizing the Congo's independent government. Okay? The CIA role that was working towards what? Destabilizing the Congo's government. And why are they they doing this? Because of the resources. Haven't we talked about the gold, the cobalt? Yes, this is what they want. And this is now why they are destabilizing the country, because Patrice Lumumba has showed them, you will not conquer us. And I have said the resources that are in this country belongs to this country and her citizens. But now you see, there's the CIA and the US. Okay, these people are enemy of one country, and they all are enemy of this country because of the resources. And this is the reason we are seeing Patrice Lumumba later on got assassinated, because he is hindering the US, the CIA's activities in Congo. But let's get to continue. It was all there. Assassination plots, Mobutu installed. Later, when the Congolese voted again for a representative government, CIA operatives disbanded the new parliament and made sure their man stayed on top. While continued to pour out of the country into foreign pockets, exactly as in colonial times. Beyond outrage, I felt scorched with my own complicity. Now seeing the naivete of my presumption that Americans and Europeans were disconnected from the Congo, we were enriched and bejeweled by it. Nearly every married woman I knew wore a diamond taken from African soil. The culverts in our engines and aircraft, the rubber tires and underpinned all our transportation and helped win our wars. And going further back, the slave labor that built my nation's agrarian economy. Okay? All this prosperity came from a place unmentioned in our history books. Unmentioned in our history books. You guys tell me, how many of you have read this in school? How many of you have been taught this in school? Nobody taught us anything even close to this. We were not taught about the resources that we are talking about right now. We are only told the basic resources we know we have. And that is general knowledge. But nobody tells you we are worth this. Nobody tells you how it was hard for our ancestors to thrive during the colonial period. Nobody tells us that. Nobody. But as we continue, let me go through the comments before we continue with our book. I see Nish in the building, shout out to you. And also I see Lil Nish is saying he needs the no. Okay, I see John Doe is saying Lumumba had great potential, but Alimado, very true. They assassinated him because they saw the power this man had. And I see Lil Nish is saying, and yes, okay. I see, yes, the thing is assassination, very true. Kid is saying, that's all African countries, Katie. Yes, it is not only in Congo. Yes, it is all African country. But I see Chris in the building. You're saying we need the Yakobat to power our, yes, cars. The Congo is the only place you can find pure cobalt. But do they own it? Of course not. We are seeing when these people took control of their resources. But I see John Doe is saying we were just forced to cram with country colonized another one. Very true. Very true. Lil Nish is saying Kenya. Yeah. Also, you're saying the richest in Africa. Actually, all African countries are very rich. The richest country in Africa is Nigeria. Look at Nigeria right now. Nigeria is struggling. Nigeria is actually importing oil, while we know that Nigeria is the richest country in the globe with oil, but it is importing oil. Tell me, why is this? Why is this? I see Chris is saying the Congo is by far the richest in the world in terms of the resources. Very true. Nish is saying about the minerals. Every African country has minerals. Yes. Congo is very rich because remember they have the gold, cobalt, but all African countries are very rich. But I see John Doe is saying, lakini Nigeria nasikia hakuna stima. Yeah, because shida si stima. It is because of the bad leadership. It is because of the poor governance. It is because of these puppets. Shida si Nigeria. The problem is not the country. The problem is not the citizens. The problem is the leadership and the people who control the country. We need to get this as African people. We are not the problem, but sometimes we can be the problem if we refuse to wake up and say no to bad leadership. Yes, we can become the problem. The country is not the problem. The problem is not even the citizens. The problem is only the bad leadership, the puppets we have, those sellout leaders. That is the problem we have. But anyway, can we continue with our book? In case of any question, you can just tell me. Let's continue. We will read some part of it and then we shall go back to something else. I see Chris is saying cobalt is far more important than oil today and will become even more important as we turn green. And do you think that we're going to turn green? That eco-friendly thing is just a hoax that is being brought to Africa. And do you think that windmills can power a whole country? That doesn't make sense. Actually, it will make the country more expensive. It will make the cost of living more expensive. But away from that, I don't want to discuss that. Our main focus of the day is King Leopold's brutality on Africa. Okay? So, as we continue, where had we left? Okay, this was not an innocent oversight. Yes, the last statement was all this prosperity came from a place unmentioned in our history books. Yes. So as we continue, this was not an innocent oversight. My interest now focused into the Ferocious question: how did one of the world's richest land masses come into the modern era as the home of the world's poorest people? A very good question. You guys, how can you explain that? We are living on the richest continent, but we are very poor. How can we explain this? My African people, how? How can we explain that? I know we can. We can say that they took over everything. They have been stealing everything, of which is very sad. I spent the next 10 years studying my ways to answers. I had been right there, standing in the cradle of modern world, when the world's most evil model of colonial exploitation turned into a perfect storm of post-colonial usurpation. The tale of what country will do to another, the blindness of cultural arrogance, robbery under the guise of salvation. These stories, all rolled into one, became my obsession, and I was aggrieved by how few people knew it. How few people knew it. Yes, how many of us know this? Not many of us. Not many of us. How many people knows this? Not many of us. Not many of us knows this. But I say, I vowed that when I was older, smarter, was sure-footed enough as a writer, I would tell it myself. Eventually, my urge to reveal the grew larger than my dread of getting it wrong, and I began to plot my Congolese story. It would be a novel because that is the method I knew for telling people things they didn't think they wanted to hear. Fiction requires readers to ask questions of themselves. What damage is done in the name of salvation? How does the conqueror justify the quest? And what about the rest of us who were captive to our government Montoria's choices? How do we make peace with our ill-gotten gains? The result of my long obsession was the Poison Wood Bible, published in 1998. Reading King Leopold's Ghost in the daybreak of its release was one more great Congolese revelation in my life. As well as I knew the territory, I was unprepared for the full backstory and focus on transition from colonial rule, knowing that King Leopold had started it all and extracted a massive fortune before turning it over to Belgian government. I understood modern Congo in the context of its colonized years, during which social services were non-existent, higher education for Congolese was illegal. Imagine it was illegal. Illegal. Yani you couldn't get quality education, but just because it is illegal in your country. Imagine being educated is illegal. It was illegal by then. What madness is that? Huh? An infrastructure was built for the sole purpose of hauling out profitable goods. The lack of material and political development were consequences of colonial rule, which typically regards local people as useful labor pool and does not concern itself with their quality of life. But I hadn't fully considered the damage held over the previous generations when the harm was not passive but harrowingly deliberate. Genocide leaves psychic scars on surviving population. The Congolese men who voted for their first independent government in 1960 were grandsons and great-grandsons of those who'd seen Leopold's armed forces arrive to usurp the whole of their land, terrorize them into subservience, and systematically extract every good thing from their lives. I'll reach there. I'll not continue with the article, but you can find time. Look for this book. It is a really good book. If you really want to know the story, the brutality of King Leopold's, come to the other side. I'm about to share something right here on YouTube. I'm sharing my screen right now. I want to share my screen right now so that you can see what I'm talking about, what I'm reading there. It is very painful that everybody right now wants to worship the Europeans, and it's like we have forgotten. But I said, I don't blame anybody. It's just that we don't know. We were not taught this history. We were not told what our grandparents, what our ancestors had to go through under the leadership of these colonizers. So it is very sad, very hurting, but we need to find the real history. And imagine the moment you find the real history. Imagine if at the moment you know the truth. Imagine the moment you see what our people went through. It will take you to a point that you don't want to see these white people anywhere near you, anywhere near your countries. It will give you that anger that you don't want to see them, that you want to even stone them to death. But I see Keith is saying, I told you, Katie, it is easier to rule an ignorant population. Very true. That is why education was illegal in Congo back then. But I see Chris is saying other regions have cobalt, but the Congo is the only country in the world with a purified cobalt. Okay, that is good. And also I see Chris is saying, John Doe, yes, John. Lithium batteries need cobalt for EV cars, and we can only find it in Congo. I mean, at the end of the day, Africa is rich. Not only Congo. Every other African country is rich. But I'm sharing my screen. This video we all have to see, or we need to see, and we are talking about the brutality of King Leopold in Africa. What did our people have to go through to get this independence? And I know we're not fully independent, and I know these people have control of our resources, but what did they take through our people to get to where we are right now? Let me show you. Okay, let me put a disclaimer before we continue, so that they don't ban. Okay. And as we continue, my people, as we continue, kindly let me know what you think about this. We as African people, we've been kept in darkness for the longest time. Now, how do you feel about realizing these things when you're older? When you're already older, how do you feel about that? You know, it hurts me very much to know these things when I'm grown. But at the same time, I'm not hurt because I know, at least I will be able to pass this information to other generations. I'll be able to pass this knowledge to my fellow brothers and sisters, to my younger brothers and sisters, to to the people now behind me. But anyway, people, let's go back to the video. Karibu sana kid.
That's not the sana there, Katie. It's not just Leopold with genocide throughout Africa. That's all of them. He's
Of
one of
course,
them.
kid.
Yeah. I know. You from the book. You're using him as an example. Imagine him in the Congo. That's just all at the same time. Him in the Congo killing 20 million. You got the other Germans down in Namibia and Tanzania killing 20 and 30 million. You got Cecil Rhodes, moronic ass. You got Cecil Rhodes going through what they call South Africa, Zimbabwe and Zambia, killing 20, 30 million. You got the British in Kenya killing millions in Kenya and also killing millions in when they were killing millions in Kenya, they were also killing millions in Nigeria and Ghana. So
imagine how sad that is. But anyway, kid, allow me to share this video, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of invasion and occupation by Germany twice in the past 110 years. In 1914, the forces of Kaiser Wilhelm II overran Belgium, and the atrocities which followed made headline news throughout the world. The German occupation of neutral Belgium enraged the Western allies of Britain and France, and the atrocities that occurred there, as well as some that did not, were used by the Allies to recruit soldiers and to raise money for the war effort. In 1940, the Germans under Hitler invaded and occupied Belgium once again. It should come as no surprise that the Nazis perpetrated hundreds of atrocities in Belgium during the war, including the elimination of many Belgian Jews in the camps of the Holocaust. There is no doubt that Belgium was the victim of horrific acts during the Germans' two occupations, but many people do not know that Belgium itself carried out crimes against humanity in its occupation of today's Congo in Southwest Africa. Many historians and
now they want to say that they wanted to revenge and then they took it on Africans. Get the hell out of here.
Sociologists classify what happened.
What happened before Germany went into Germans white people always been brutal with other white people. That's why they came to Africa, Katie, because they were poor and they had destroyed Europe where they didn't have any resources. So it was the Pope who said, hey, you white people, go out, leave Europe and go out and try to find new lands and kill the people there and steal their land. Because they had no resources in Europe. They were starving, hungry, dirty. So that's what happened.
In Belgium as a genocide, and lay much of the blame for it at the feet of one man, Belgian King Leopold II, who reigned as King of Belgium from 1865 to 1909, and as the ruler of the Congo Free State from 1885 to 1908. Over the last few years, many Belgians, including many of African descent, have brought much of what happened in the Congo to light in their country. But outside Belgium, there are many people who do not know what happened there in the
No,
late
chopping out that.
1800s.
You know, they would chop their hands off, Katie. There's no good dirty. They would chop their hands off, the children's hands off, and then make chocolate treats out of them.
Shit.
And pan, crisp chocolate treats. Wicked.
The official title of the Belgian kings is King of the Belgians. In Belgium, there is a difference between the titles King of Belgium and the King of the Belgians. The first suggests that the monarch is the owner of all of the country's land. The second title implies that he simply reigns over the Belgians in the constitutional monarchy that's existed in the country since it separated from Holland and the United Kingdom of the Netherlands in 1830. The Belgian king, and it's been a king, not a queen since independence, was never an absolute monarch, though in the 19th century the king had considerable more power and influence than King Philippe does today. The problem for Leopold was that he really wanted to be that king. You know, the your wish is my command, sire type king. And he could not be that kind of a king to the Belgians, who had gone through much debate, internal strife, and some bloodshed to prevent that kind of absolute monarchy in Belgium. Much of Western Europe was going through the second age of imperialism in the latter part of the 19th century. Great Britain's empire spanned the globe, the largest empire the world has ever seen. The French controlled a great deal of Africa and parts of the Middle East. Italy had a small African empire. Holland had extensive colonies in the Pacific, most notably today's Indonesia. Even declining Spain and Portugal had colonies in Africa and the Far East in the late 1800s. Some in Belgium called Leopold II the Great Builder, for in Belgium he sponsored and promoted the building of new roads, public buildings, and a variety of public works, many of which are still in existence. Many in the country believed that that was his purpose in attempting to gain the Congo River area for Belgium, to improve and modernize the vast forested territory.
Yeah,
He also wanted to spread the Christian faith and to bring Western...
Nah, that's all bullshit. They give a shit about spreading no Christian faith. We just all right. That's the propaganda. He also wanted, I ain't gonna be a Christian killing people. That was the victim of that scandal. He wanted to be spread the Christian faith. And then he wrote, he said, hey, I don't give a shit about these dumb niggas don't know Jesus. They already know who God is. I want you to subjugate their ass. He wanted to spread Jesus by stealing people's shit. Yeah. That's all that is.
Just because he couldn't become the king of the Belgians or the Belgians king. Now he wanted to become the king of the Congolese, or rather the Congos. And now
Right.
this is what happened. He took over the Congo and he started now genociding the Congolese because they were so against him. And
but Katie, it's okay that he was genociding because he was teaching them about Jesus.
Are you mad? Jesus,
I'm not mad. That what that video you were saying. He wanted to spread the Jesus to him.
Oh, are you mad? Are you mad? You can tell your Jesus to kick rocks. I don't want your Jesus, and I don't even want you as well. Just leave my country. And now people were so against his existence in Congo, and this is when we started seeing him genociding African people, killing African people, to a point that now Patrice Lumumba was so he was the opposition of his government. He became so
Patrice Lumumba was dangerous, Katie, because he got Belgium and made Belgium and other European countries wealthy, and America too. So when Patrice Lumumba said, "No more will Congo be pillaged by your Europeans. This wealth is going to be used for African people." They're like, oh no. That was going on today. The wealth of Africa is not being used by African people. It's these puppets and the West. So he said, no, this wealth is going to be used to uplift African people. Like, oh no, oh hell no. CIA said, hey, it's time to kill this motherfucker.
I want you guys to get this. This is not only in Congo. This happened in every African country.
Everywhere, yeah.
It happened in every African country. And in Kenya, remember, I showed a video. You guys were not here, but there was a time I showed a video of how our ancestors were being assaulted. They were being
beaten, put into a concentration. They're being beaten, whipped, put into a concentration camp. They were told to worship the queen. This ain't my queen. You people came, stole our land. Say, well, you gonna worship this white woman?
The worst part, they were put into zoos.
Yeah.
Europeans could come and see them in zoos, just like the way we go to animal orphanage. They could fly from Belgium, from where, to come and see Africans in zoo. Imagine, they could come to see our people. These are our ancestors we are talking about. They were put in zoos.
Katie, you can share, go to images, say black zoos, black people zoos. You know, that's how wicked these people work. You put images of black people zoos in the early 1900s that pop up. That's no kids in the zoo. Wicked ass shit, boy. I learned that I learned that I was like 21. That broke my. I couldn't believe it because you never taught none of this. They're not gonna teach none of this. I was like, what? I said, no, this can't be true. The hell if it wasn't.
It is the truth. They can't.
I know.
People in zoos. Can you imagine? Hey, this was too much. It was too much. But now people don't know this.
But Katie, I'm putting you in the zoo so you'll learn Jesus. Okay?
I don't care about that. Man, our people need to wake up. This love we give to the Europeans, imagine we can give to our brothers and sisters and then come against these people. Can you imagine being put in a zoo?
Wow.
Can you imagine being put in a zoo and the people?
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine, Katie. It's real. That's why you never see
this young girl. This is a young girl. A very young girl put in a zoo. She's just tiny and she doesn't even understand what is happening, but she's put in a zoo just for the Europeans to come and make
That's our great grandma. That's our great grandmother, Katie.
What? Hey, my people, we gotta wake up. We need to wake up. And I was asking myself, is this
Katie,
we
didn't know none. Katie, we didn't know none of that. We didn't know none of that.
Now I understand. I understand because I also know that this history, I didn't read it somewhere in high school. I wasn't taught any of this in primary school. So I totally understand that our people don't know this. But until when are we going to tell you to find your history as African people? You need to find your history. You need to find the right books to read. And now you need to see what these people put our people through. And with that is enough anger. It is enough anger. By the way, that is enough torture for you to kick these people out of your country.
That's what they're doing.
The moment you see these images, the moment you see what pain they put our people into, imagine it is enough anger to fuel you to kick these people out of your country.
Can you imagine how crazy this is, Katie? How crazy that is? Who would do that to people? Wow.
Who would do that? Those animals did that to us.
Yeah.
They did that to us because they considered us. They considered us as animals while they are the real animals. You know? Huh? Hey, African people, I've given you a book that we all need to read. There's this book, King Leopold'S Ghost. And now relate what happened in that book to every other African country. This is not talking about Congo only. It is talking about every African
That's
can,
right.
can yes,
All of them went
it
through it.
might
That's right.
not be it might not be King Leopold, but remember, we also had other colonizers, the
Just
British
change.
colonizers in
Just that.
Africa.
Just change the name from
Mhm.
King Leopold to Queen Elizabeth. Uh, 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 King George when they first came into Africa, or whoever was ruling. I think it was Napoleon the Third in France. Just change the name. The same shit happened.
My people, my people, you need to get real books. You need to get the real information because what we are going to, you have heard even education was illegal in Congo, and the
Of
reason is
course.
to make sure that people are
What?
ignorant. They don't even
Yeah.
realize
No
what
one's
is
going on.
happening.
Exactly.
Huh?
That why do you think, Katie, school fees are in Africa, and also that curriculum is? Remember, was that
Because
you? That
Africans
was
are
that?
poor and they won't be able to afford school fees, so we
I
remain
know
uneducated,
exactly.
ignorant.
Exactly. That's on purpose. So you're easy to rule and me to steal from. I think it was you or Jovi. When you got something about the history book that wasn't authorized by Ghana teaching the real history. And then people say, oh hell no. Hell no. They take this book back and get another book. Get the book.
Uh,
Then these people were your friends and they loved you and all that other nonsense.
Just like I said in the beginning of our show, I believe we are also well while we know our history. So it is
Of
high time
course.
as African people to find the real history, and now this will fuel. It will fuel you to the hatred towards these people. I don't even want to tell you anything else. Just go and read for yourself. You will see the anger that will come with that. It
But that's
will
why they
show
need.
you
But that's
that.
why they. That's why they need you. Katie, you know discernment, so you're telling what people to read, and that's a good thing. And you've got no discernment because they're not, even though they're not as smart as you, they don't know when they're being lied to. It's in a book. You might think everything in the book is real. No, also they got to use discernment. So it's a good thing you told them look at it with a critical eye because the writer still got her own agenda, but it's good information. It is because it was waking him up. He realized, wait, all this wealth and Europe came from here. Yeah,
All the diamonds in the women's bracelets
yeah,
and chains and necklaces comes
yeah.
from Africa. Can you imagine? This is a Mzungu writing a very good book for you to realize what is happening, and you just don't realize and you don't want to read it. My people, you have the brains. These books are very affordable, and some of them I know they are very expensive because they don't want us to be able to afford them. But at the end of the day, my African people, we gotta wake up. We're gonna find this book, and we need to read them, and we need to see. You know, we need to see. I don't want to be telling you every day how these people are dangerous, how these people are very brutal, how these people are very bad. I just want you to see for yourself. You know,
But,
you
but
might
see,
think
but
that I'm
okay,
racist.
but look at you. Okay. Let's same way Joby transformation. So remember your transformation, Katie, when you were giving Tom and chocolate. Your your opinion has completely changed, Katie.
Man, all right. So right now, I even never want to come across a white man. And you know, somebody told me, damn, girl, you're super racist. And I'm like, yes, I'm racist. I don't love white. I only love black. How should I be loving my enemy? I'm racist. Call me racist. I'm racist. I don't even deny that. I'm super racist. If you want to find a racist person, this is me. I'm not. I'm not with that white nonsense. No, not me. I just sometimes I go through the books.
That's
I'm a
that's
reader very much. I just go through the books and I'm like, oh, so you even did this? Okay, so this was not enough. You also did this?
that's right. And that and the difference between racism and prejudice. You don't have any power, Katie, to be so you're not racist. You can be prejudiced. You can't be racist because you don't have any power.
Hey,
Racism where you can put power on somebody. You can flick your will like a Leopold and That's racist. That's power. Somebody being prejudiced is different. I don't like you. Why not? Because I just don't. That's prejudice. You don't got
But
no
trust
power to
me,
do.
guys,
You
with
don't
the
got no
reading
power to do
the
that.
books, trust me, with the reading the books and not being told a story by somebody, you're just reading the book and you're finding out for yourself. It fuels you. It makes you
It
more
hurts.
angry, and it
It hurts.
hurts you. It
It
feels
hurts.
like you're the one being stung by a bee.
It hurts.
And yeah, it hurts a lot. So I think all we need to do for people, for our people, I think if I'm able to put up a library for these books, I can, man. I can do it for you. You need to find these books and read them. If you're a reader, you need to find these books and read them because it will fuel you to a point that you want to kick these people's balls. You just want to, or you just
Hey,
don't want to see anybody.
it'll bring back you like being in Tanzania, Katie. How dare you?
Man, that time I was flaming. When I'm angry, my face is always hot. If you want to know I'm angry, my face is always hot and it starts turning red. So I was angry. I was even
you,
shaking. And when I'm
you,
angry, I'm
you,
always shaking. I want to beat up
you went,
somebody.
yeah, you went in on that old man. The old man was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The old man was like, whoa, whoa, what the hell is going on around here?
I don't care. I'm in your house, but you have to treat me right. I have paid to be here.
Yeah, but see, he wasn't used to that. You've been docile. That's why he said, hey, these girls been in America. They grew up in America or something.
I don't allow disrespect even on my people. No,
You're not
don't.
supposed you're not supposed to, but Africans have done. They have done that kid. That's why he expected you. That's why he expected to be able to disrespect you. That's why he was shocked when you didn't allow him to disrespect you. That's why
And
he
he
was
starts
shocked.
speaking German, thinking that I'm not understanding what he's saying. I hey, what are you saying? You think I'm not understanding? I told them like that, and they were like, this girl is really hot. From that day, those Wazungu stopped saying hi to us. The others who are living there, they stopped even saying hi to us. I guess they were giving the story.
No, 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 because they're not. Yeah, they look. They're not. Since you told so many lies growing up, they're used to you kissing the ass, licking the ass, and you guys didn't do that.
I'd rather kiss a black ass, not a white one.
So when you guys did that in Tanzania, like whoa, 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 that shit was hilarious. Anyway,
Yes,
guys.
that was the Wellness Wednesday. Please make sure you read that book, King Leopold's Ghost. It is a really good book. If you really want to understand the African history, you need to find this book as well. Remember, I referred you to another good book, The Illuminati's Greatest Hits. That is also showing you how the system works, how Illuminati was formed, and Illuminati is not what you think. You, my people, actually, Kenyans don't know what Illuminati is. They think that
exactly. Exactly.
Yes, they know that. They know that if you have money, you are in Illuminati.
No, you're not.
If you're getting rich, you are Illuminati. You are in Illuminati. They don't understand what Illuminati is. So
I know they understand what the Illuminati is. Exactly right.
Yes, you need to see how our people were assassinated. You need to find out how what ship, that ship that sank.
Titanic.
Yes, the Titanic, and also you need to see how these people were put into an oath not to say whatever happened. So, guys, please find the book. Also, find the King Leopold's Ghost. It is a very good book, and you will get to enjoy learning something that is African.
Yeah,
and also,
read what Katie said. You understand? What Katie's talking about in that book, Katie was seeing how they started creating the U.S. dollar, and then you see who's creating the bricks. Who's the same people create that dollar, It ain't the
Actually,
U.S. government.
teaches all that, even the CIA, how the CIA was created, how the
Exactly.
central banks were created. You need to see that, my people. You need to find it for yourself. I don't want to be telling you these stories all the time. You need to find it for yourselves at the end of the day. But family, we are coming to the end of our show for
Much
today.
love, guys.
Much love. Asanteni sana for being with us on today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed. I see Maisha Bara Jim in the building anasema vipi poa sana tumemaliza shughuli yetu ya leo, but make sure you join us on the next episode of Tubonge. Kwaherini. Enjoy the rest part of your day. See you later on Tubonge.
Hopefully I didn't make Katie go over time too long.
Greetings from South.
Hey Isabella, how you